There's nothing I want from you anymore. None of you has anything to offer me now.
Imagine a character who, whenever they get hit by an attack, can instantly adapt and become immune to it. That's like having a cheat code in a video game, where nothing can hurt you twice. This ability is insanely overpowered, because it means that no matter what kind of damage or situation they face, they can survive and come out stronger. Think about it, a fireball hits them and burns them, but now they're fireproof. A psychic attack messes with their mind, but after that, they're immune to any kind of mind control. It's like they have a built-in learning mechanism that updates their defenses in real time. In a fight, this character will be unstoppable. Opponents will run out of ways to attack them, because nothing will work on them more than once. Plus, the more diverse the attack they face, the more invincible they become. They adapt to everything, so their power just keeps growing with every encounter. That's why the only real option is to take them out immediately, preferably in one hit. It's a do or die situation because if they survive the initial attack, they'll come back immune to it, making them an unstoppable force. There are many types of adaptation in fiction, but I specifically wanted to focus on two kinds: death-based adaptation and passive adaptation. I'll bring up two characters who fit into both. Starting with passive, it describes a form of adaptation that initiates on its own and not necessarily under the user's control. One character that embodies his adaptation the best is Darwin from the X-Men comics. Darwin's ability to adapt is controlled by his body's subconscious response to threats and the environment. When faced with danger or extreme conditions, his body instinctively and instantly evolves to counteract the threat. This could mean developing fireproof skin in the presence of flames, breathing underwater, or becoming intangible to avoid physical attacks. His power is a continuous, automatic process that ensures his survival by any means necessary, making him extraordinarily resilient and nearly impossible to defeat through conventional means. Some of his other adaptations include his body changing into different shapes and substances to avoid knives or reflect bullets, his body evolving to absorb energy, his lungs change to filter out certain gases. When he was hit by a gun that can shut down the nervous system, he transformed into a sponge because sponges don't have nerves. His body adapted to be immune to lasers. He adapted to breathe in the vacuum of space. His body hardened into a rock-like substance when he fell off a cliff and when he was surrounded by bullies. However, his adaptation can sometimes kick in when he doesn't want it to. For example, when he tried to kill himself after his mother disowned him, he turned into rubber so the impact wouldn't hurt him. And when he was fighting the Hulk, his body adapted to teleport him away from the location. Another character with passive adaptation is Maharaga. When Maharaga is attacked, the wheel on its back spins and processes the nature of the attack. Once the wheel completes the rotation, Maharaga adapts to the specific threat, making it immune to the attack in the future. It can even adapt several times to the attack, developing new ways to counter it. Moving on to death-based adaptation, it requires the user to die first before the adaptation kicks in. Heracles, a berserker, has a noble phantasm, God Hand, which ties back to the 12 labors of Greek mythology. This power gives him a form of immortality through 11 lives. To really take him down, you need to kill him 12 times, which is already a monumental challenge thanks to his insane speed, strength, and agility that only gets better as the fight goes on. Each time Heracles gets killed, he not only comes back, but also adapts to the attacks he's faced. He's not just tough physically, he's also pretty sharp, learning from every hit and adjusting his tactics. This means that the more you fight him, the more he figures out your strategies and counters them effectively. On top of that, Heracles gains resistances to any type of attack or damage he's previously taken. So if an attack hurts him or even kills him temporarily, he heals up with new defenses against this new kind of damage. This makes subsequent attacks nearly useless. No matter how powerful the noble phantasm or attack is, once Heracles has survived the encounter, that same attack won't work again. You'll need to come up with a completely new tactic to deal with each of his lives. Doomsday was originally born on Krypton, where his creator subjected him to countless deaths by various phenomena and creatures. This relentless cycle was designed to create the ultimate being capable of surviving any threat. After eventually escaping and killing his creator, Doomsday retained his unique power, adapting through death. Every time he died, he revived with immunity to the cause of his demise. allowing him to continually evolve. This power makes Doomsday nearly impervious to a wide range of attacks. For example, despite being killed by Superman's fists, he adapted to withstand blunt force trauma. When he first battled the energy entity known as the Radiant, he was defeated, but eventually came back with the ability to harm him. Doomsday even evolved to resist sonic-based attacks by blocking his ear canals, and he developed cyborg enhancements to fight Cyborg Superman. His adaptability doesn't stop there. He has built-in resistances to psychic abilities and demonstrated his capacity to escape from the Phantom Zone, a dimensional prison. Doomsday's ability to evolve in response to death means that each battle only makes him stronger, making him an ever-evolving force.
You don't owe anything to them. They manipulated you and then tried to kill you.
So I keep hearing.
From who?
All you need to know is that I will get free. And I will kill you.
However, there are two characters who possess both passive and death-based adaptation. They are arguably the two most powerful on this list. Amazo from the DCAU was created by the genius scientist Dr. Ivo and manipulated by Lex Luthor, with the purpose of defeating the entire Justice League. Amazo's passive adaptation is pretty basic. When he looks at any ability or the user of an ability, he's able to scan them and then copy their abilities, even if that ability was part of an object like the Green Lantern ring. Amazo used this to easily copy all the Justice League's abilities and almost defeat them all. However, after learning that Lex Luthor tried to manipulate him, Amazo decides to abandon these plans and instead appears to scan and copy the very cosmos, allowing him to ascend to a godlike being. In this state, Amazo no longer needs to scan you to copy your abilities. For example, he was able to shrink himself to a subatomic state to intercept the Atom. In fact, he's so powerful that he can take on the entire Justice League and somehow win. Amazo in his ascension basically learned to adapt from death. When his head was blown off, he was able to heal with no problem. In the comic Justice League Infinity, Amazo fought an alternate universe version of himself. With all his abilities, this Amazo could erase the entire multiverse with a mere thought, and even erased his counterpart from existence. However, Amazo somehow adapted to getting erased from existence, and then proceeded to one-shot a more powerful version of himself. SCP-682 is one of the most infamous and dangerous entities in the SCP universe. It is described as an extremely intelligent and extremely hostile reptilian creature. SCP-682 is intensely aggressive and seeks to destroy all life. It is known for its deep-seated hatred of all living things. SCP-682 has the ability to quickly change its biology to counteract anything that harms it. Scientists in the SCP universe theorize that SCP-682 has a sort of survival instinct that's so advanced that it might be akin to a supercharged version of natural selection. When faced with a threat, it undergoes rapid changes to better withstand that threat. For example, when it encountered SCP-173, it developed eyes all over its body in order to never look away. When it got sent to SCP-3930, which literally doesn't exist, it somehow managed to exist within it. It fought and survived against a universe-destroying entity in SCP-076. It managed to defeat an SCP which was literally created to kill it no matter what. Almost nothing can stop its rampage, and if it wasn't for the existence of more powerful SCPs and the Foundation itself, all of humanity would be cooked. Now, what would happen if literally any of these characters fought your fave? I'd actually argue that the adaptation ability is far more reliable than barrier-based defensive abilities like vector control and a limitless curse technique. Now, for a question on whose adaptation ability is the best. Well, it's obviously SCP-682. I mean, it's pretty clear simply based on the feats I brought up. Throw them up against 99% of fictional characters, and I guarantee you'd adapt to them and get the W.